back to episode 2 of the Double Down podcast presented by Waterwave. Today is Friday, September 23rd, and first of all, I want to start out by giving a huge shout out to everyone who tuned in to episode 1. Episode 1 is just the beginning. It's the intro. It's the start of this podcast and the start of this new journey for me. From here on out, the goal is to have a guest with me here in the studio or on Zoom every single week, and that's what we have today here with our first guest, current Gopher basketball player from Birmingham, Germany, 4-star recruit, 89th ranked prospect in the class of 2019, bronze medal winner in the European Championship with Team Germany, a great friend, and even a better person, my friend Isaiah Ihnen.
Thank you. It's great that you're having me here today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I introed, you being from Germany. Many of the listeners kind of know how basketball works over here in the United States and that kind of stuff, but kind of just want to get a background on you, like how did you start playing basketball? When did you start playing basketball? Kind of just give the listeners kind of the dynamic of like growing up, in Germany and playing basketball, because it's definitely different from the United States, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I started playing basketball like really late. I wish I would have started earlier, if I'm being honest. But my mom was always the one advocating for me, playing basketball, and I was always like, nah, I don't really want to. None of my friends play basketball. Like, basketball is big in Germany, but not that big, It's more so soccer. A lot of my friends played handball, and so yeah, I never really cared for basketball, if I'm being honest. And then when I was about 15, I gave it a chance, I wouldn't say I lived in a small town, but it was definitely not a big town. Bibling is not that big. And so I joined my local club team, okay? Like in Germany, you don't play sports for your school, like how you have, high school sports and varsity here in the U.S. Doesn't work like that in Germany. So, I joined my local club team. It was bad competition, right? But it was the first time playing basketball. It was fun. Then I just kind of fell in love with it, But from there, like I had no idea like how I would like get to the next level, like what the next level even looks like, because I was completely new to the basketball world. Like at that point, I didn't know who Kobe Bryant was, right? I thought Michael Jordan still was in the NBA, like I had no clue. And actually, funny story, the first pair of basketball shoes that I got were D Rose's, right? So that was the first basketball player I looked up on YouTube. Wow. And so that was my first favorite player.
And this was like at 14, 15 years old, or?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then at that point I just because you only have practice like twice a week, so you don't really get better doing that, right? So I just because the way the gyms work, like the gyms are owned by the city, so like there's other sports that are in the gym at certain times. So like what I would do is just like kind of just hang around the sidelines while other sports have their practices and just like do my own thing, like. Yeah. And I would look up YouTube videos and stuff like that on how to improve ball handling, like how Kevin Durant's shooting form is and how I can copy that. And I don't know, I was just a kid trying to get better. And I was really tall at that point already too. I think I was about maybe like 6'6", 6'7".
Okay, well, yeah.
And so each club has an adult team, and our adult team was like in the 5th league of Germany, so not good at all. But they played also a 5th league team. It's called from Tübingen, but Tübingen also had a 1st league team at the time, right, in the Bundesliga, and it was just a good program, like with a very good youth program. And I didn't know that at the time, right? I was just there in the gym, like watching like basketball, watching them play. And then at halftime, I was shooting around, shooting hoops while both teams were in the locker rooms. And the coach from the other team, like he saw me, and then this is what he told me too after the fact. He saw me, and then he was intrigued by just like this tall, lanky kid. Yeah. and then he saw my mom in the crowd who was there at the time, and so then when the game ended, he walked up to my mom and asked about me and what I do, like how old I am, stuff like that, and then he and like invited me to like a tryout, right? So I was really excited because the tryout was for the NBBL, which is the under 19s, like the best league for under 19s, kind of like varsity high school. Um, so yeah, I went there for the tryout. I was extremely nervous. Looking back, I think they would have taken me either way just because I was so tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they took me in, and that was then I played my first year of like really like high level basketball, just and yeah, like that like it was my first time actually like playing serious basketball, and practicing like 4 times a week, have individuals, and the coach who found me was also the coach for the under 19s team, and yeah, like he was big for me.
Yeah.
He put me on the wing, like let me shoot the ball,
Develop
let
your
me
game a little bit.
exactly,
Yeah.
develop guard skills and stuff like that, which I feel like helped me a lot in the long run.
Yeah. Well, it's being so new to the game, instead of sticking a big kid down the post, being able to let him learn how to dribble, let him learn how to shoot, let him learn how to pass, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't put me in a box whatsoever, which was great for me. And then in the course of the season, I kind of started figuring things out, and then like we were basically playing for in the play downs, right? So playoffs, you play to win something. Play downs, you play to stay in the league. Because so our best player got hurt, and then our coach was like, Isaiah, like just like I need you, like just like
Step up.
exactly, just step up, exactly, because I mean someone needed to, and so I don't know if he talked to other players as well, probably, just like the coach talk,
Sure.
but it did something in me, and yeah, and then in those last like 30 games, I averaged like 20 games. It was the first time I scored that much, and I was hitting shots, and yeah, I was like that was the first time I thought to myself that there's something I could maybe do, seriously.
Yeah.
And yeah, then then there were like camps for the national team that I got invited to. At that time, I just got invited because of potential, but I wasn't good enough to play for them at that point yet. But yeah, it was just everything just happened so fast,
Yeah.
And then I played this summer, like 3x3 basketball, with the national team, and that's where I met. His name was Joshua, who played for a team in Munich.
Okay.
He was really good at the time, and that was in the spring, and then in the summer, we had our preseason game. So it was like a preseason tournament in Munich, and that was hosted by Joshua's team, and my team went there to participate in it, and that was the first time seeing him play in like a few months, right?
Yeah.
And he was like a completely different player, and I was just stunned, right? I was like, wow, like how is he getting better so fast? Like it must be the development of his team, So I asked him, he was like, yeah, my coach, this and that, right? And I was like, wow, like I wish, you know.
Kind of made you think like, what if I have more resources, or what if I have
Exactly.
like this opportunity that you didn't have back in your hometown?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and then I completely forgot about like a big problem also was that the team I played for at the time was kind of far away from where I lived. So after school, I had to take the bus and the train to get to practice.
Yeah.
And it was like an hour trip there and back, And then if I'd miss a train, I'd basically miss practice,
Yeah, wow.
So it was just a bad situation, and yeah, and then he had told Joshua was my friend. He was like, yeah, you might as well just join our team, And then I was like, yeah, I mean, why not? And then I ended up transferring teams, and that was the first time I moved out. I moved to Munich. I was 16 at the time. And so I moved in with my teammates and stuff. First time living alone. First time being away from family.
Yeah.
It was definitely an experience, you know.
Yeah, how was that? Was it hard to leave your hometown and, especially when you just started playing the sport, 2 years ago, and you have no idea what direction it could go? Like, how was that kind of experience moving out and doing something new?
Yeah, I would say so you would think that it should be hard, right?
Mhm.
Like you would get homesick and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but I never really felt homesick. Maybe because, I mean, Munich was what, like a 2-hour drive away from
Yeah.
home. So if needed, like my mom could come visit me, I
For
could
sure.
go back home, I just kind of saw it as an opportunity now to be free, like live a teenage life, be on my own, make my own decisions, make my own mistakes, learn from them. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That was probably my best 2 years of my life, if I'm being honest.
So you spent 2 years over there in Munich?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years in Munich. The first year I had to sit out. I couldn't play. I was blocked because I transferred so late.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just there, going to school, working out, practicing.
Yeah. And then you get into your first year and kind of take us through like that experience and the team and the success and your development, and like how did that go for you in that first year of playing?
So yeah, then that first year I was back playing again. There was this guy called Paolo. He Brazilian guy. He used to play pro basketball. Was a NBA draft prospect back in the day. Had bad luck with injuries, So now at that point he was just coming back from surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Was looking to get into coaching, and this is the thing, man. Timing and luck like plays a big role.
Yeah.
And I was extremely lucky that he was there at the program at the time, because he did a lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he worked me out a lot. He made sure that my mental was okay. I had terrible body language. He was the first one to tell me that. It was hard on me, but it was good. I needed that. And he believed in me. And that was the biggest thing. And so yeah, I mean, I was there playing. There was like Joshua, my teammate at the time, now in Munich. He was blowing up. Like, it was NBA scouts at our practices. Like, there was one game where 30 scouts just lined up.
Wow.
And mind you, it was a small gym, right? So the NBA scouts basically the whole crowd.
Wow.
So yeah, they all came to see him, and they kind of like, because of that, I also got seen. Like my coach would tell them that, yeah, I want to go to college, this and that, and at the time I was like 6'8", 6'9", athletic, mobile, play on the perimeter, and that was intriguing to a lot of people. And so I think the first school that came to practice was Arizona State. And yeah, they after practice they told me that they've seen like game film or something, and yeah, they were like, okay, like that could be something, but they weren't like really crazy impressed or anything.
Yeah.
And then once they saw me practice like in person, then they were like, wow, like and offered me.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that was my first offer, and then from there it just kind of like snowballed.
Yeah.
And schools came to visit me, and then other schools who I don't think never see me play and just started texting me and stuff like that, right? And so yeah, and that was my first year back playing after a year I got blocked, and I was just like, at the time before that happened, I thought, I mean, like, I have no idea how I'm supposed to get into college,
Yeah.
Like, I had no offers, I had no resources, I had no way of being seen.
Was that the intent for you? Like, was the goal to go to the U.S. and go to college, or how did that like process go through your head? Like, was keep playing pro ball in Germany, or go get an education over in the U.S. and play college basketball? Like, where was your mind at that point?
So yeah, I always thought, I'm pretty sure I Googled it at the time. Like, I Googled how do people get drafted or something, and the most common way was the college route, So then the moment I seen that, I knew that I wanted to go to college. I remember when I was still at Tübingen, my old team, like 16, I was telling everyone that I'll be playing for Duke one day.
Yeah.
You know, everyone looked at me crazy. But yeah, like I just knew early that that's something that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, obviously you go through the process of teams recruiting you and that kind of thing. Like, you came to the U.S. and took visits and all that stuff, right? Like, what made you go through that process and then, you know, eventually ending up at the University of Minnesota? Like, kind of take us through your thought process on that.
Yeah, so the first thing I did was kind of come up with like a final 6,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then from there it was kind of more so just figuring out a time span where I could go to the U.S. and actually visit the schools, cause you know it's like like a 10-hour, 9-hour flight, and since I got recruited so late, like I had to take all my visits in the spring, of my senior year essentially, and around that time I had my finals coming up in school, which school in Germany, man, it's hard. Yeah.
Hard.
So I had my finals coming up, and then at the time we also had our playoffs with the team, you know. So it was kind of hard finding enough time to go on those visits, you know. So I decided to go on like I don't know, like a 3-school bender kind of thing,
Yeah,
you know.
hit one, then hit the next,
Exactly.
and then after,
You know, like a little trip.
Yep.
And the plan initially was to go to Tennessee, TCU, and Minnesota. Those were the 3 schools that ended up deciding actually wanting to visit. And then there's only this certain week that I was able to go, and that was a week where like Rick Barnes like had something going on and he couldn't like do it these days, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, and I'll just visit those other 2 schools, you know, because I didn't have any other option, you know.
Yeah.
So I went to TCU and Minnesota, and yeah, I mean TCU, Fort Worth, really beautiful city, man.
Yeah.
Like everything is so clean, and you know, I was like, wow, like I was kind of wowed by just how like good everything looked, you know. And then I come to Minnesota, and at the time, there's a lot of construction going on because, you know, it's in spring, like right after the winter. There's a lot of construction here.
Always is, man. Always.
So, and then I'm pretty sure when I arrived here, it was raining as well.
Yeah.
So
it started off on a bad note.
Yeah.
On a bad note.
But yeah, you know, like I just had a feeling about, you know, Minnesota that would be a good spot for me at the time.
Yeah, and I think, like, you know, that feeling, it's kind of like an undescribable thing that a lot of athletes talk about, you know, and like it just felt like the place to go, you know, and like for me, like, you know, Minnesota was my home, so like I knew I was gonna come here. But you know, for you, it's different. You're traveling across across countries to get here, and you know, you pick Minnesota, and then, you know, obviously you go home and get ready to come to school. You know, take us through that kind of, you know, process. Like, you know, you're arriving here in Minnesota to stay. Like, you're moving to Minnesota to play college basketball. Like, you know, like you mentioned, you have high goals. You know, you want to be drafted in the NBA. You know, you told your friends when you're young, you're going to go to Duke and be a pro and all that kind of stuff. Like, where is your mind at, like, coming into Minnesota? Is it like, because one and done culture is a thing at this point, you know, like people are coming to do a year and then get drafted in the first round. Like, where is that kind of the thing you were thinking, or like, what was your mind at in terms of like coming to Minnesota and you know, your future in the pros and the NBA?
So, normally, you know, when you come in as a freshman, like you come here in the summer, right? You go through the summer program and stuff like that. But since I'm an international student, like you can only start attending school in the fall. So in the summer, I played in the European Championship with my national team, and there was this one guy, you know him, Sam Griesel.
Yeah, my guy. Shout out Sammy G if you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, that's my guy. He was my roommate. You know, he played for NDSU. Now he plays for Nebraska. And yeah, you know, at the time he already played his freshman year of college. You know, and you know, we talked, and I told him I was going to attend the University of Minnesota. And, you know, I had high ambitions, man. Like, I came here thinking, all right, I remember this clearly. I told him, you know, Like my goal is to be a one and done. If not, then I'll stay a second year,
Yeah.
and then I'll go to. But like I was, like high ambitions. I wanted to come in here, try to be freshman of the year. Like I had like really high ambitions coming in, and then I end up coming here. I was able to come here a little bit earlier than the fall because the team was traveling to Italy. Because every 4 years, colleges take or basketball teams take international trips.
Yep.
So I was here practicing for 2 weeks. Practice went fine. It was okay. We didn't do too much. I just got introduced to the place and stuff like that, and then we traveled. And yeah, Italy was fun, man.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was great to bond with the team, And when I actually ended up moving here completely,
Yeah.
And we actually started with fall practice, like real preseason. I kind of like hit a wall, because I was supposed to be playing, I don't know, like on the perimeter, and like coming from Germany, like the game, like basketball was a little different, and I've never faced like guards, like how you have here in the U.S. Extremely athletic, fast, and as a freshman, I wasn't physically ready either, so I came here and was kind of struggling on defense, So yeah, like defense was like the biggest thing I struggled with coming in.
Yeah, so initially, you come in and your mind is kind of like, oh wait, maybe this is a little tougher, or maybe this is coach wants it one way and I want it another way.
Yeah.
How did that kind of dynamic go through your first couple of years? Because obviously you can look up the numbers. You didn't have the numbers that you wish you'd have coming in right away. You didn't have numbers that propel you to an NBA draft pick. How does your mindset, go through that and take you through that, keep you in the game, keep you excited to come back and play?
Yeah. So, at first I was, freshman. In my mind, I was thinking that it's coach's fault. Like why is he playing me in positions that I'm not used to? This is not how I was promised. It's not how it was supposed to go. And I pushed the fault away from me. It's coach's fault. But when in the middle of my freshman year, middle of the season, I kind of had a shift of mindset. Started thinking more about, okay, well, this is the situation I'm in right now. What can I do to make the best out of it? And I feel like that helped me a lot. Yeah. And I actually ended up playing quite a lot at the end of my freshman year. So yeah, that was probably the shift of mentality that I kind of needed. And but yeah, it was tough, man. I come here, I don't have family around me. I don't really have a support system.
You don't know how the game goes either here in America.
it was just so different for me. And even though I thought I had an easy time adjusting, I really didn't, and it kind of showed while on my play.
No, that totally makes sense. You have one mindset of how things are going to be when you come in, and it changes. And you go about that, and you play 3 years under Pitino, or 2?
So I played my freshman year.
Yep. And
it got shortened because of COVID, quarantine and stuff like that. And then we had the COVID year, right, where we had no fans and stuff like that. And that was the last year I played under Pitino before.
Yeah. And then Coach Ben Johnson comes in. Whole new staff comes in. Every single guy except for you and Eric, leaves. So you and Eric are the only 2 guys to stay. Where's your mind at now? You get a flip. You get a flip of a switch. Maybe a fresh restart. Maybe something new. Is your mind kind of telling yourself this is a fresh start, or what is your mind telling you?
Yeah, man. I was down. My sophomore year I was down. I kind of thought to myself I was in a rut. I didn't know how to get out of it. I didn't know what to do in the situation anymore, and I was kind of set on transferring, after the season, and then Coach Ben got hired, right? And I hear like Eric knows him, like Jarvis Johnson knows him, and I kind of ask around, like on opinions on him, what they think, and I only heard great things,
Yeah.
but I didn't know him. I had no relationship with him. He didn't recruit me. I didn't know any of the coaching stuff.
Which is tough because you can think like this new guy's coming, he doesn't owe me nothing.
Nothing,
He
yeah.
doesn't owe me anything. He could sit me on the end of the bench if he wants to.
Yeah.
So that's a hard mindset to think about.
Yeah. So yeah, I was still kind of thinking, like it might be better for me if I leave, because most of the time when a new coach comes in, he kind of has like his own plan or his own idea, but Coach Johnson and the staff made sure that I knew that they wanted me here.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of funny because in the spring, I was the only one here pretty much. It was Booth was here as well, and Gabe, but Gabe ended up transferring, like entering the portal and then going to Iowa State.
Yeah.
So it's really just me, just working out with the coaches, like with the whole coaching staff, just doing individuals, and I'm pretty sure that that they saw a lot of things that they didn't know I had in me, and they saw the potential that I kind of have,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just so different, like it was all about confidence, like just like be you,
Yeah. And you were attracted to that, obviously.
yeah,
something that you wanted.
that's what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Like I was so much, I felt so bucks in, and it was like kind of like staff was kind of like reaching for me, just pulling me out that rut, and yeah, they believed in me and what I can do, and
So that made you want to stay, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you eventually end up deciding to stay, and 13 new guys come into the program, including myself. I came in. The first day we met was my 6th week mark on my left ACL. So you meet me. We're roommates. I move into the room. Like you and me become friends pretty quick. And you see me hobbling around with a brace and that kind of stuff. Like not necessarily like you having an opinion on it, but like you see the injury, you see something clearly that's in front of you. You obviously don't think like, hey, this is never gonna happen to me, like that kind of thing. But like so we start summer workouts and all that kind of stuff. And where's your mind at now? Like new team, new energy, new group of people. Like you excited, you nervous, worried? Like what's going on?
I was definitely excited, man. Because Ben made sure to recruit the right guys. It was all good people.
Yeah.
Like it was just great vibes overall, great environment. Everyone was ready to work. Yeah, I was excited. I thought I was going to have a great year.
Yeah.
Like a breakout year. I had high expectations for myself again.
Yeah.
And like meeting you, like it's not hard to be friends with you, Fox. You're a great guy. So
Appreciate it.
So I was actually very happy that you ended up being my roommate. At first, when you committed here, I didn't even know you were hurt.
Really? Okay.
I just saw the little picture they made for your, like when you signed or whatever, and posted on Go for Men's Basketball. You still had your long hair, and I thought to myself, like, who is this crazy guy?
It's this country boy coming. No, man, for sure.
But yeah, like I see you, and then I hear you tore your ACL. And I'm just thinking, well, damn, like it's bad luck, like it really sucks. Like I feel bad for you, But yeah, man, I was like, I felt bad for you, but at the same time, I was just really focused also, like
locked in, like like this is gonna be your year.
Exactly.
Like no, you got to have that mindset too. And I think like when I met you, it was a mindset that I saw you have. Like Isaiah is gonna be a leader for us. He's gonna be a guy that's a starting 5 kind of guy. Like he's gonna be out there. He's gonna be playing major minutes for us. And I've seen it through summer workouts too, like watching on the sideline through summer workouts, like, yeah, this guy's legit, so, take us kind of through that. And then, you can get into, what we're here about, what this thing is all about,
Yeah. So yeah, the summer really for me, especially when everyone else came in, was more so just like me just trying to get my confidence back. Right. Like me getting used to, being aggressive, like pump fake, jab, dribbling, pull up, making use of all my skill, like making sure that I'm the best defender I can be.
Yeah.
You know, trying to challenge myself with getting every rebound I can. You know, and the trajectory, like it was going up. You know, I was getting better and better. I was getting more confident, and then like at the start of a practice, we did like a defensive like closeout drill, you know, and I remember this so vividly. So the first rep I did, I was kind of doing the closeout like a little lazy, you know, like not really in the stance. And then Coach Thorson immediately, Isaiah, you know, like
that's not gonna slide with Coach Thorson
at all. He was like, Isaiah, you need to be in a stance, you know. And so yeah, the next rep, I started like going for the closeout, and I was trying to go harder, right? And I planted my foot because like basically we're closing out on someone that was attacking the rim, and so that person was attacking the rim, and I planted my foot after the closeout to, you know, like how do you say it? like defensive slide and cut him off.
Yeah. And
my foot jumped kind of I don't know if there was a wet spot or anything, but my foot ended up not being planted where my brain thought where it was going to go, you know. And then I ended up tearing my ACL.
Yeah.
You know, I was laying on the floor, and the first thought I had was, is this how how you felt, you know?
Yeah. So your brain went there right away,
immediately. Yeah. Like it was an unnatural movement in the knee, and my first thought was, like, is this how you felt? And that there's no way, right?
Yeah. And I remember you asking me questions like, you know, how does this feel? Like, what is this feeling? And, you know, I even remember, you know, you being in the training room, and, you know, we almost got to a point where it was kind of like, okay, this might, you know, not be, you know, we almost convinced ourselves that, you know, Isaiah didn't tear his ACL, but you still go get imaging and that kind of stuff done.
Of course. I remember, like, I was starting, like, at first people were helping me, you know, get into the training room, and then I started kind of walking by myself. And then I was doing single leg squats and all these tests, and I was like, maybe I'll be able to practice even in a couple minutes, you know. And then we kind of concluded with that it might be like a bone bruise or something, right? Yeah. Cause I never had any injuries, you know, ever really. So I thought there's no way I'll have injury right now.
Yeah,
you know?
Especially seeing me come in, it's like, no way I did it too.
Type of deal. Exactly. And then we get the imaging. I got a phone call. And I remember our trainer just saying, like, hey, Isaiah, like, yeah, you want to come downstairs real quick? You know? And
I remember we were all together in the living room of our apartment. It was you, me, and Trey. Yeah. And I was like, Zay, you want us to come with you? And you're like, yeah, for sure. Like, come on with. And then we go downstairs and
we go downstairs, and I mean, I kind of had a feeling that it must be something, right? Because you don't tell someone to come downstairs so you can talk face to face if there isn't something going on, you know. Sure. So I was really just hoping that it might just be like a meniscus tear. How long are you out for a meniscus?
Like 3 to 6, maybe 6 at like the max, but probably 3 months maybe.
Yeah, you know, I was kind of hoping for that. Yeah. But nah, it was a clean tear of the ACL. Nothing else got hurt, but it was just a clean tear of the ACL.
Yeah.
You know.
And I remember, you know, being down there, and, you know, my heart sank because I had just heard the same news 8 weeks prior, you know, and a guy that I had just met and cared about a lot, you know, we became friends like quickly, like I said, you know. My emotions, you know, came over me, you know, speaking for myself, but, you know, take us through, like, you know, what were your emotions right away? Like, how did you react? Because the initial emotion is important, you know.
Yeah, so I remember at first, like, not thinking anything. I don't know if it was the shock or like I didn't really feel any emotion at first. You know, when we were downstairs and I was told that. I remember, you know, we were there and you prayed for me. I remember that. And then we had dinner at the calf, right?
Yeah.
and everyone else went there, and I think I went there on my own, as well. And so I was walking through the facility on my way to the cafeteria, and out of nowhere, I just like started tearing up, and I was just like, I need a moment. I went to the bathroom, and that's kind of when it hit me, like I'll be out for the whole year. I put in all this work for nothing, like I never got hurt, now I am hurt, like a big injury, like ACL is like nothing minor, and yeah, I was just trying to just stay calm, but I just couldn't, I just hit me, and then all those feelings like just came up that I guess was trying to suppress, subconsciously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hard, man.
Yeah. So you get over the initial emotion sort of phase. You prep for surgery, getting ready to go. Like, I think I've talked to people about different emotional responses to surgery. Some guys are like, oh, I'm gonna get this surgery, get rehab done, and we'll see where life takes me, type of deal. Or you can be like, let's get this thing going, let's get rehab going. I'm gonna be in the NBA still. Like, I think that was your kind of mindset, right? Like like I'm gonna turn this into something special, just like the way I had that kind of mindset. So take us through that. Where was your head at in pre-surgery, and then getting into surgery and post-surgery?
Yeah, I was just thinking that I wanted to get the surgery as soon as possible. Just so I can get it started, the process started, and I could get back on the court as fast as possible, and I could use this time as an opportunity to get even better than I was before, stronger, better, and so yeah, I was just like once it sunk in, and once I kind of accepted it, I was just ready, I was in my head, I was thinking, okay, I'll attack this, I'll come back better. Like this injury won't define who I am. It'll only make my story better. Like you can only add this to my resume. Like Isaiah beat, the odds.
Yeah.
That was kind of my mindset.
Which I think is like the best way you can have your mindset. Because I remember I was still up at Northern, and I was like, all right, let's do the surgery. Like, let's get it going. Like, let's schedule as soon a date. I still was like, I can get back out there next year. Like, it's all good. Like, type of vibe like that. Really wanting to show people like, you can do this. And, I remember for me personally, like researching guys in the NBA who have torn their ACL.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, okay, how do we come back for this? What's the script to come back to this? And, and like I said, I'm 8 weeks, 9, 10 weeks out of my surgery, and I had a little different surgery than you, which, sidelined me for a little bit longer. But, yeah, you get the surgery, and then, take us through that, that process. People don't know how tough it is, how painful it is, how brutal it is. And, where was your head at through the dog days of post rehab and post surgery?
Yeah. So, I had surgery before, but it was just like minor stuff, like a tonsillectomy, or like when I was younger, like something got removed somewhere. I forgot what it was exactly, but that was like ACL surgery was a different beast. You come out, you're medicated, you don't really know what's going on,
loopy as hell.
Yeah. And then like I got the nerve block in, so I don't really feel much in my leg or any pain. And the first day is kind of, it's all right. You just lay in bed, you ice, sleep a lot. And then the second day, similar still. Yeah. But then third day and the fourth day when the
brutal
when the nerve block kind of stops.
Yes.
Oh my God! Like it's painful. It's a constant sense of uncomfortability. Like
you can never get comfortable in
any
position.
Never. Sleeping becomes impossible. And but you desperately are trying to sleep to just get away from this feeling. And even trying to use the bathroom. At first, damn near impossible. Like you have to kind of figure out how to like walk around with those crutches, how to sit down on like on the toilet. I mean, we're both really tall. You know, it's a long way down.
Exactly.
You know,
It's the little things in life that, you know, are so simple that, you know, not that people take for granted, but like.
But you don't think about.
Yeah, you don't think about like how would you sit down on the toilet with a straight leg, or like how do you take a shower with nowhere to sit, like, you know, that kind of thing. And you know, I think about, you know, those things and how tough they are, and you know how, you know, they make you. I don't know. For me personally, it made me think about like, you know, why am I doing it, or like, you know, what's the point of this? Like, why I go to rehab and get better? Like, did you have any of those thoughts, or like where was your, you know, mental at in terms of like, you know, getting into the early stages of rehab? Because for me, you know, you're starting to try to bend your knee a little bit. You know, you're making the quad muscle again, like the most brutal, painful, you know, things that were so easy to us, you know, a couple days ago, you know, become so hard. And for me, you know, my mental was allowed me to push through it. But, you know, I think it's, you know, different for everybody. So, you know, how was your head in that sort of situation?
Yeah. So I always kind of try to like force myself to think, to just like focus on like what's important now. Like shout out Trey.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's like I was just focused on like, okay, well, I have to do this. I have to do this every day. You know, it might suck, but at the end it'll pay off. You know, like Eric. Big resource, you know, like he went through ACL surgery twice, you know, so him just, you know, like telling me the right things I needed to hear, like things that would help me stay motivated, you know.
And listening to him, you know, because, you know, guys like us, you know, initially we didn't know how to go through it. You know, I think having a resource and having somebody that can kind of tell you, you know, how to go about it can really help, not only physically, but the mental side of it as well. Yeah,
exactly. You know, that I feel like that helped a lot. And what also I feel like helped me the most probably was you also being there and rehabbing as well. Yeah. You know, which is because I mean you're just like a very driven person, you know, and just like, I mean, if you surround yourself with certain types of people, that's kind of like how you are going to be as well. 100%. You know, so you're just being around and also being locked in, and you were a little bit further ahead, but you just being locked in rehab made me want to lock in even more.
Yeah, and it was same with me, vice versa, you know, going through it. And for me, it almost became not a competition, but like
a little bit,
you know, because we're able to, you know, especially when we got more and more into rehab, you know, when we're on the road traveling, like we got able to push each other and like, hey, I'm going to get better than Isaiah did today. And then you're probably thinking, hey, I'm going to get better than Parker did today. And I think that's healthy competition.
For sure.
And it's, you know, propelling you to want to work harder and motivating you. So like, I definitely think like, you know, not everybody's going to have somebody to go through rehab with them, but having some sort of resource where you can like push yourself and you know, we're competitors. We play basketball and, you know, we compete every day in practice and all that kind of stuff. And having that, you know, external resource to push yourself, I think was good for me. And I, you know, I don't want to speak for you, but.
Yeah. No, most definitely. And also just help with not being able to play, you know, because I mean, I would imagine it would have sucked like much more, like being sidelined, watching everyone else play while you were just alone, you know, not playing, not practicing, not doing what you love to do, you know.
How hard was that for you?
Man, this was tough, man. Yeah. Like I love playing basketball, you know, and like that year I was even more excited than previous years, you know, because I knew this is new team, new coaching staff. Different situation for me. New opportunity
too.
Like new opportunity, new me, you know, and then being sidelined and then seeing our team like struggling sometimes, especially, and then I don't know, like our teams. Like sometimes we had games where we struggled rebounding, you know, and I'm thinking, wow, that's one of my strengths, you know. I could be out there helping us, you know. It was tough, man.
Yeah,
it was tough.
Yeah, so. You know, we go through a season, and me and Isaiah, we got to travel to, you know, all the you know, games and all that kind of stuff. So we're doing rehab on the road. We're doing rehab at Williams Arena. We're doing rehab at, you know, Athletes Village. You know, we're getting it in for 7, 8, 9 months, you know, of constant, you know, painful physical rehab. And, you know, we both get back, you know, sort of the same time, because mine was a couple weeks earlier than yours, but I had the meniscus. So, you know, our trajectory kind of lined up perfectly where we were getting into 1-on-1 together and 2-on-2 with managers and 3-on-3. And then we moved to 5-on-5 take me through that. Like, how are you feeling? You ready? You back? You ready? You know, where's you nervous about re-injury? Like, where was your head at? You know, in the early stages of being back on the court again.
So at first I was itching to play,
Yeah.
you know. So even just playing against our managers, you know, 1-on-1, like, was so much fun to me. You know, I love playing 1-on-1, you know. So
Yeah.
you know that, and yeah. So even just playing against the managers, like, I loved it. You
Yeah.
know, it was, and I mean, you know, like, it's the manager, so it was easy. You know,
Yeah.
wasn't great competition,
Yeah.
but it was still very good to be out there playing.
Yeah.
But because the competition wasn't as good, I didn't need to do as much, you know. So that's why I need to slowly increase the competition, you know. And then like Danny started playing with us, and some of our walk-ons started playing with us, and then at that point, like, it started getting a little scary, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you know, like, I don't want to get hurt again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try not to do that move, or maybe
Yeah.
I'll just shoot a jumper here instead of driving and
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you know. And then once we got into actual practice, it was kind of similar, but like, my fear of re-injury was gone, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, I was like, I had a little bit of like tendonitis issues, like jumper's knee going on, which is normal, you know, because they take the graft from your patella tendon.
But we're back in practice.
But
you
yeah,
know?
besides that, like, we're back in practice. You know, everything's going well. Both of us are just getting better and
Yeah.
better. Like, we're starting to play more explosive.
Yeah.
You know, things are going our way. You know,
Things are going good.
Things-
and then
things are great.
and then I go down.
Yeah, I remember it clearly still. Like,
Yeah.
it was a like fast break situation. Like, you were going to your signature Parker
Yeah.
Fox Euro step.
Yeah.
I was right in front of you. I was avoiding contact a little bit. You were probably anticipating contact, you
Yeah.
know. So and then just like that, you were on the floor.
Yeah.
And then I was like, damn.
You think I did it again right away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like.
Especially when I came up and I said I did it, you know.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Kind of like I tell people, like, you don't know it until you've gone through it once to know what that feeling's like and that pain is like, and you know. So you know, fast forward, you know, I do it and I go through surgery and all that kind of stuff, and I am, you know, I'm back around the facility every once in a while, you know, because I was staying at home, I was doing rehab at home and at training house, but one of the days I decided to come in to practice was your next story, I guess.
Yeah. So the crazy part about this too, because I had a conversation with our trainer, right? Like, he asked me if I was scared to re-injure myself. Now that you injured yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not scared. I'm not scared to re-injure myself, because the odds of both of us in, like, re-injuring ourselves at this point now are, like, so slim, you know. Like, there's no way this is happening, you know. So I was set on, okay, I won't get injured, you know. And then the day before that, I have the best practice of my summer, you know. Like, I'm hitting all my shots, you know. I'm playing confident, like, I'm looking really good. I'm guarding, you know, like, really good, you know. I feel comfortable out there. I'm starting to almost have my foot athleticism back of my left leg.
Yeah.
And then the next day, not even 5 minutes into 5-on-5, I get a steal. I push the ball on fast break against two defenders. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, that's an easy score. You know, I go for a Euro step, split the two defenders, laid up, and then I land on one of their foots. And my knee shifted, and then in a way it shouldn't shift.
Yeah.
And I fall on the floor, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I felt this before.
Yeah.
I think I did it again.
Wow.
You know, everyone else was trying to tell me that, like, no, it's probably not that, but, like, I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, like, just the way my knee moved. Like, there is no way
Yeah.
that
No way you
that I didn't do something.
Yeah.
You know. So my mind was set on that something in my knee is messed up again.
Yeah.
I was and you know everyone was telling me that it's fine, like I'll be okay. Let's not think of the worst thing before we know for sure.
Yeah. Go get an image, MRI, all that kind of stuff.
MRI exactly, but I'm thinking and I'm thinking it's ACL for sure. But because everyone else was thinking so positively, I started kind of thinking positively as well, and I started to hope that it's a meniscus, right?
Yeah.
But I knew something is wrong, you know. But I was hoping it was just a meniscus tear. And then we got the imaging done, and I got the call, and it's another ACL. Same knee, right?
Yeah.
Same knee. And I'm just like, wow, like it wasn't even like my knee was weak or anything, you know,
Yeah.
like. My
Just
knee, my knee, my legs were stronger than ever before. You know, we measured it. Like, we measured strength. We measured my muscle size. We did everything right. You know, the right way.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I have to land on that foot in that certain position.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like incredible bad luck. And I'm just thinking like, how are we both like hurt again?
Back to back, same injury.
Back to back.
Yeah.
We worked so hard, you know, to get back. Like I don't think people understand. Like you come out of surgery, like your muscles are gone. You know, you have to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to run. It's you have to learn how to bend your knee.
You can pinch the bone of your femur. You have no muscle there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and you know that's kind of where you're at this point right now. What, 3 weeks out of surgery?
Yeah, 3 weeks out of surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just going through the brutal dog days. I tell people the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, is kind of that, really dog day part of physical therapy before you're able to, walk again and do things athletic, sort of athletically. So, give us a, quick update before we wrap up on how that's going for you, emotionally and also physically.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So emotionally at first, I was kind of sad on, well, 2 injuries is kind of crazy, back to back. Like people will look at that and think like, wow, like
1 in a million type thing.
Yeah, and people might look at that and think like career's over or something, right? And right, like when I went back home to Germany and like for a couple of days I had that thought as well, but then I started being real with myself, and I decided that this is not how this will go, like at all. Like I came back from it before. We both did, So like my mindset shifted to like I will just come back again, and even better. I'll be the best version I've ever been. It's completely new Isaiah out there. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with it right now. Like I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be tough. Another year of rehab.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to coming back, being on the court, and coming and playing next season, better than ever.
Yeah, and I think that's the mindset you have to have. And I think being together with you, we have that mindset where it's like we can work together to get to this common goal, and it's going to be even, that much more sweet when it comes into fruition. And, I'm happy to know you. I'm happy to do rehab with you. Appreciate you coming on the pod.
Hey man, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah. But I mean, for those of you that are listening, these emotions, these feelings, I think, don't want to speak for Zay, but when you have somebody that's kind of going through something that you're going through too, you can, bounce ideas off each other. You can, bounce emotions off each other. Like we've been vulnerable together in the training room, like people don't understand, going through physical excruciating pain and flipping it into like, emotional responses is, special. And I'm glad I have that relationship with you. And, for those of you to watch and listen, and we're going to work our ass off, and we're going to be back, and we're going to be better. And I think that does it for episode 2. So I want to say thank you to Isaiah. I want to say thank you to Waterwave. I want to say thank you to everybody listening across all platforms. This has been Parker Fox
and Isaiah Ihnen.
And we're out. Peace.